starting the season than you were at the end of last year?
The end of last season, I mean, I definitely say I've worked out a lot. Tried to work out like twice a day, even go to the YMCA just on my own time. And, I kind of found peace there and just I go with one of my roommates. We just hit arms and try and bulk up a little bit. And then just, watching the film back from the previous season, that's always a good starting place to go from after the season's over. So just learning from past mistakes and chances that we could have capitalized on in the last season, things like that.
What did you see when you scouted yourself for last year?
I mean, Coach Cramsey, we had our offensive meeting yesterday, started camp obviously, and one of the main things he hit on, was the turnover margin ratio, which was like -13 in our losses, and then, we had +9 in our wins. So that's obviously the main takeaway. Tulane game, we had 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. So you're not going to win a game with 4 turnovers. And then just like a lot of my passes that were intercepted were off the hands, they were high. ECU, I had one to Eddie that was kind of, in no man's land. He kind of got held, and then I had one on a dig that was high to my left. So just, trying to fix those interceptions because those are the main things that lose games. And then, Houston game, we had a 3rd and 6. We ran a quarterback draw. We were up 14, and I slid, and I probably could have scored. So that still haunts me. So little things like that where outcome could have easily been different, but it wasn't. So you have nightmares about that stuff, but you learn from it and taking it into the next season.
Speaking of that, are you expecting to run as much this year as you did last year, or you think that you got enough playmakers now in the backfield and the O-line's going to work for you?
Yeah, whatever it takes. At the end of the day, that's kind of always been my mantra, and I want to run. You know what I'm saying? Give me more. That's my mindset, and I'm gonna wear a flak jacket this year, so I can take some more hits. But we definitely have a lot of talent. I told my dad this the other day. I think it might be the most talented team that I've been on since I've been at Memphis. So I'm excited for our guys and for this camp, and for us to get mentally tougher because we had a lot of guys today that didn't make it through the majority of practice or there towards the end. So we need to get tougher for sure and just mesh. But I mean, we have some talented guys out there.
Speak of your pass catchers, obviously there are a lot of new faces there, and the variety of different guys. Veer's obviously a burner. Toski is kind of a bigger body. Joseph's back; he's a burner. Just kind of what's in that room and the variety of skill sets they offer.
Yeah, I mean, like you kind of mentioned, there's a lot of different body types and a lot of different guys in that room. It's pretty deep. We're pretty deep all across the board on offense, and I think defense too. We have a lot of transfers, and the running back room is pretty deep. Obviously, we got Ducker back from last year, and Sutton Smith played limited time last year, and then Rock Taylor played limited time last year at receiver, and then there's a bunch of guys to mention that came in or that are younger guys that might see a little bit more time. So I mean, there's a lot of guys. There's too many to mention, to be honest. And like Coach Storefield kind of mentioned, it's the start of camp, so we don't really know who's the starting running back or the starting receivers or the starting O-line. So I mean, there's still a lot of places for guys to compete.
What was it like just today trying to build chemistry with all these guys, especially with you?
I mean, it was good. They were here in the spring. Yeah, all of them except for tight end from Colorado who transferred in the summer. That's about it. So they've been here for a while, and this isn't our first time throwing the football together. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to get out there in helmets, though, for sure. First time in helmets going against the defense. So it was good to get out there with them.
You mentioned that you think it's the most talented team you've been on. How do you think that'll kind of help open up your game? I'm assuming you think you have a lot more playmakers this year.
Yeah, I mean, like Coach Storefield said, there's playmakers every year. They're just different every year. And there's obviously a lot of turnover on the offense side of the ball last year compared to this year. But I don't like to talk about the last year at all, or any of my previous years. I'm all about what's next and what we have here in our facilities right now and the coaching staff we have right now. And yeah, I mean, having talent around you obviously helps you as a quarterback. You look at Stetson Bennett. He had a lot of talented cats around him, and that gave their team a lot of success. So just as a quarterback, our main job is to get the ball to the playmakers in space as fast as possible. And we might be a playmaker too, but those guys are pretty fast. So I'm trying to get them the ball and go about my business.
Ryan said that he's planning to be on these guys like he hasn't, any other year so far. Did you notice a little bit about that, like that popping up in day one already? Or?
Yeah, for sure. And Coach Cramsey, he gave all the quarterbacks in the room. He gave us a book to read before camp started, and mine was "Make Your Bed." It's about that the SEAL, the Navy SEAL. I don't know the author's name, to be honest. And one of the things in the book is being a sugar cookie, where like in training, they have to, if they don't do something correctly, then they have to jump in the water and then roll around in the sand, and then go about their whole entire day coated in sand and getting it in their armpits and every other place. And even if even if they're doing everything right, they might still make them be a sugar cookie. And so I mean that's kind of how I feel like he is sometimes, just trying to light a fire under us. And I feel like I try and do everything to the best of my ability. He'll still try and get on me, which I love. I love to be coached. And then same with our staff. Like he kind of mentioned, he was definitely on our staff today and trying to push them to get the most out of our players. So yeah, he was on it.
He said he's letting you do more. They're going to let you do more, whether it's, I don't know, from a pre-snap perspective, or
Yeah.
I'm curious what that means to you in terms of, it sounds like they're putting more on you this year.
Yeah,
than previously.
I mean, I'd consider myself a pretty smart guy, not to, what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I could always do more and learn more. We spend the whole entire offseason, or at least I do, just watching coaching clinics and learning more about football and learning about defenses, learning about how to attack them. And obviously the game is always changing, schemes are always changing, coordinators are trying to stop us and stop me, but we're learning too, and I'm learning too. And I know a lot of football, so whatever they can to give us a better edge, I feel like I'm a asset to have for our staff.
How have you kind of looked at your career? Because obviously, like I'm sure maybe you thought maybe you would start from day one, but a lot of people around here didn't think that. And then obviously you had a great year. Your first year, you had a pretty good year last year, but the record wasn't exactly how anyone wanted.
Yeah.
How do you view this season in terms of, I guess, the context of, do you feel like you've left some things on the table even as well as you played at times here?
Oh, for sure. And it's just wins and losses. To be honest, I feel like I've played pretty well. There's obviously plays that I could have made to, help us win games, and plays that I've made to help us lose games. I look back at my freshman year, and I was pretty weak, to be honest. I fumbled in 2 games that we lost, and they were vital situations in plus territory for the other team. On the 20-yard line against UTSA, 3rd down, we had just a wide cross. I stepped up, hit the ball out. They got the ball, and then at Tulsa, in the game I had a bunch of yards, but I had a pick and a fumble. We had like the guard pulled, and we were half rolling to the right, and I didn't get far enough to my right, and I stepped up, kind of did like this, and he took the ball out. So I mean, there's obviously plays I've left on the board, and plays I've made in my career too that have helped us have the chance to win games. So you just kind of take it with a grain of salt, and that's in the past now. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of focus on the now, who we have now, like I said, and I'm excited for what we have.
Speaking of grain of salt, you're up for the Maxwell watch list. Do you look at that and say, yeah, I need to be on more of these? It elevates me, or it elevates the school profile, or how do you look at that?
I mean, I don't really look at it too much. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's not too many people looking at the Maxwell Award watch list and saying, oh, look, there's a Memphis quarterback. You know what I'm saying? We haven't won enough to be recognized. You look at it and you're like, oh, there's a Tulane quarterback. They just won the Cotton Bowl. I mean, we haven't won enough for me to be recognized. And it's a team sport, so you know what I'm saying? To have individual recognition, I mean, if you're not winning games, that doesn't matter. And back to them, you know what I'm saying? Like, they won so many games, they had a lot of people get accolades. And that's just how it rolls. If you're winning games, then your team and your individual players are gonna get their recognition or whatever.
Change your number for the 3rd time in a row. I want to know why, because I've never seen a quarterback change his number 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just kind of made it my shtick after last year, and like I kind of like if I have a good year, you know what I'm saying. If we win games, then like I'll be like, oh, that's good mojo, and I'll stay with the number. But we didn't win enough games last year, and then yeah, just kind of I did it all in high school and middle school, so it's kind of like might as well do it again another time this year.
Did
Any
you just
reason
pick
for
a
the number two?
Yeah, no reason really. I mean, I did wear it in, like when I was in little league, and my favorite quarterbacks growing up were like Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and they both wore number 2, and yeah, I like them. So, yeah, I just think it's a cool number.
How do you describe
every
the
year since
jump
middle
in your comfort level from year 1 to year 2 with Frank's scheme?
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's a blessing to have him back another year. Just to be able to be with the same coach in your room, that's kind of a big deal, in my opinion, just because they've been with you for so long and they respect your opinion more and more as they spend more time with you, and he knows my football mind and what I'm capable of doing. So like they said, they're going to try and put more on my shoulders, and they're doing that because they know that I can do it and I'm capable. So it's a blessing to have him back. He's a great coach and a great person, and so I'm just grateful to have him back.
What's your version of, he was asked at the end of his press conference, what's success this season in your mind? What's success for you?
Yeah, I forgot what he said, to be honest. I was trying to reiterate it, but I can't think of it. Success to me is just winning a lot of games. That's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we've had some success the last 2 seasons, and we've lost close games, and that's what determines people's outlook on us. If you see 7-6, that's different than 9 and 9 and 4. So, just winning games. That's all that matters at the end of the day. That's it.